Paul Pierce is back at it again, and he just will not let go. So for those of you that don't know, he was a guest on It Is What It Is with Cameron and Mace. Check these boys out. This is definitely the greatest and the best ongoing sports show that we have. Hilarious, and because they have ties as rappers being in the industry, they have quality guests. They have had, Stephen A. Smith, Brandon Marshall, now Paul Pierce. They've teased that the Ice Cube is coming on the show, so check them out. That's besides the point. Paul Pierce was on there, and granted, he did not just come on there and started talking his shit, but Cameron and Mace, as expected, asked if he believed he was, first of all, better than LeBron James, and his answer was, I am not, but on any given night I can be. So take that as you may. We're not here for that. And then they asked him about D-Wade, and he just got into it. So check out what he had to say, then we're going to come back and react.
This argument.
All right, now let's talk about
Are you better than Dwayne Wade?
All right, accolades, he got more accolades than me. Yeah, he got 3 championships. I got 1. Okay? Let's stop right there. Listen.
Now I want to hear this.
All right. You telling me if you need a bucket down the stretch, who you want, Dwayne Wade or me? Let me ask y'all this: you want to win the game down the stretch with who you giving the ball to?
I'm gonna say I'll give you the ball down the stretch, boys. I'll go with that.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I'll give you that. What do you say, Mace?
Who a better three? Who a better three-point shooter?
Hold on. This is what we're gonna do. We're going to ask us the question. It seems like you got a series of questions.
All right, yeah, I do got some questions.
I'll give you, down the stretch, or game on the line, Paul Pierce. What do you say, Stat? She's from stretch points. I'm giving you the ball.
All right, so now, put Shaq on my team, put LeBron and Bosh with me. I'm not going to win one? You don't think?
Ooh.
You put me, LeBron, and Bosh. We not gonna win one.
Yeah.
We not gonna win a couple.
Yeah.
So I'm saying
That's true.
So I'm saying though, like who's the better 3-point shooter?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Is he a better scorer? Is he a better scorer? Okay, he averaged more points than me career. I can shoot the 3.
He's a better slasher.
I can post up. I can get to the line. Who a better scorer?
See, you know what it is, and I'm totally.
Yeah.
So you heard the man. So first of all, I want to say, all I'm about to say about Paul Pierce is with all due respect, because I see a lot of Paul Pierce hate on the internet, and people are either they did not see him play or they're acting like the man wasn't actually the truth. Like that man was nice in his prime. That championship run he had with Boston, what he did in the playoffs, is one of the most impressive runs in my opinion, because he was able to go against LeBron James, and he did not outplay LeBron James, but he definitely matched him. Same with Kobe Bryant in the finals. He did not outplay Kobe Bryant in my opinion, but he definitely matched them. It's not that many players who can say the same, especially in a single playoff run. And you may argue that he was supposed to go back-to-back if it wasn't for injuries or whatever. So all respect to Paul Pierce. That being said, that Dwayne Wade talk, man, like he needs to stop. Like it's just not working. So he brought up some points, about team success, saying that Dwayne Wade had LeBron James, he had Chris Bosh, and he had Shaq. So obviously, if you flip these guys' career and you put Paul Pierce in the same position, they would have had the same. You may argue that, but just because of 06 alone, Paul Pierce cannot talk to Dwayne Wade. Because people like to say, yeah, Dwayne Wade had Shaq in 06. Yes, Shaq was an all-star. Yes, in the regular season, he did average 20 and 9. But if that was the Shaquille O'Neal that we knew to be the most dominant force in the NBA, in NBA history, arguably, Dwayne Wade would have never won a Finals MVP over that guy. It was all because Shaq, he wasn't washed, but he wasn't the same. For example, in the finals, in 6 games, he averaged 13.7 points and 10 rebounds. Shaquille O'Neal. So it's not because it's Shaquille O'Neal on the back of the jersey that you can say, oh, Dwayne Wade had Shaq, so this is why he was able to capture a championship. No, that wasn't the same guy. That was still a quality player, but that wasn't the dominant force, that huge help that Paul Pierce needed to actually capture his championship. So Dwayne Wade, just in 06, that run was so legendary that just off that, in my opinion, he's already above Paul Pierce. Now, Paul Pierce brought up, the fact that he's more clutch, he's the better jump shooter and everything, which may be true. But all I got to say is, does that even matter? Like, the back talk, the players like to bring up the fact that they can do more with the ball than another player. It doesn't mean that you're better, in my opinion. It's about, okay, you're saying you're a scorer. Can you score? And if so, at what efficiency? If you look at the stats, Dwayne Wade for his career averaged 22 points, 4.7 rebounds, 5 assists, on 48% field goal. Paul Pierce stats for his career, 19.7 points, so advantage Dwayne Wade, 5.6 rebounds, advantage Paul Pierce, 3.5 assists, let's call it even, although Dwayne Wade had more assists, and the field goal percentage, 44.5%. So Dwayne Wade, despite being the lesser jump shooter, despite being the worst three-point shooter of the two, he was still more efficient. So how, people will say that, yeah, Dwayne Wade was a slasher, while Paul Pierce was mostly a jump shooter, so this is why. It doesn't matter, in my opinion. If these guys are both able to put the ball in the basket at the same clip, I'm always taking the most efficient guy, in my opinion. That's just me. People may disagree with that. Now, if you look at the accolades, Dwayne Wade was just so much better two ways. So much better two ways. He made a few All-NBA defensive team. Paul Pierce was never able to do that. Dwayne Wade is arguably, for a shooting guard, the greatest shot blocker in NBA history at this position. Paul Pierce on defense, he was high at best. And then he still had that run with Miami. Dwayne Wade may be sitting on the three-peat if it wasn't for LeBron James just choking out his mind in 2011. Paul Pierce, he had his big three also. Now, KG and Ray Allen, they weren't, in their primes, because if you put all these guys in their primes, that shit would have been so broken. But they still had Rondo, they still had Perkins, they still had some quality role players off the bench. And, for what it's worth, they're Doc Rivers, and they only could manage one championship. So you can talk all of that, woulda, coulda, should. You had a big three also, and you had one championship. Granted, you got injured, but Dwayne Wade got injured too in 2014, and then he was just a shell of himself, and he wasn't able to go out there and compete. So while y'all were both by yourselves, y'all had similar output, but again, Dwayne Wade, you gave him one All-Star in 06, and he was able to capture a championship. For Paul Pierce, you had the big three, you got one ring with a big three. So I'm not trusting the fact that I'd be giving you just Shaq. You would have went out there and dominated in the playoffs, especially the way Dwayne Wade performed in the finals. So I got Dwayne Wade on this one. I do think it's a little bit closer than what people think. Because, again, Paul Pierce was nice, but this still shouldn't be a conversation. I think we should just be able to respect Paul Pierce for what he is and just say, yeah, man, whatever. I understand, if I was as good as Paul Pierce, I may have that same mentality in my head, but this is only in his head, man. So, yeah, that's all I got about this whole thing. Get in the comment section and give me your thoughts. Do you like Dwayne Wade? Do you like Paul Pierce? Why? Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys later with more content on a daily basis. Peace.